Hello and welcome back for another historic gameplay video. Today we're going to be taking a look at this Affinity best of 3 deck. What the deck is trying to do is play and create a bunch of cheap artifacts to power out our Affinity cards. This is done using Tamiyo Inquisitive Student, which creates a clue token each time she attacks. Weapons manufacturing, creating a munitions token whenever a non-token artifact we control enters. And Pinnacle Emissary, creating a drone token whenever we cast an artifact spell. Using all of these artifacts, we're looking to play out an early Kappa Cannoneer, which scales each time an artifact we control enters. This includes tokens as well. And also Rottenmouth Viper, which will be sacrificing our artifacts to reduce the casting cost. And then if not answered right away, the Viper can spiral out of control as it gains additional blight counters. Another payoff that we have for all of the artifacts is Arcbound Ravager. This can be used to sacrifice our munitions tokens, making blocking very difficult for our opponent, while also growing the Ravager. Could be used to burn our opponent out directly, or we can use the Ravager to try and cheese a win by sacrificing a bunch of artifacts to put 1/1 counters on it, and then sacrificing itself and using its modular ability to move all those 1/1 counters onto an unblocked artifact creature. The rest of the main deck is focused on playing out free artifacts or cheap value-oriented cards such as Drix Interlacer and Emry Lurker of the Loch. When it comes to our sideboard plan, most of our sideboard is dedicated to counterspells, and then there's some additional graveyard hate and some cards for control matchups. The last few times I played this deck, it's done very well, and we're hoping that we can continue that pattern here today. Without further ado, let's jump into the matches and see how the deck does. Won the die roll again. We're very lucky today. And this hand is pretty good. Lead off on starting town, pass the turn. Swamp and a Thoughtseize. Might take the Ornithopter here. Depends if they have more discard to follow up with. If they do have additional discard, I can see them taking the Kappa. And they do take one. Great Furnace means that we don't need to pay life with starting town. Rack those colors from our opponent. A Mako. And that's it. So here we can play out a Kappa. Should be pretty difficult for our opponent to deal with. They cycle a troll. That will grow the Mako. And then, for the most part, we don't have any top decks that aren't going to trigger Kappa, so I think we do play the Ornithopter out here. It's not unreasonable to hold it in hand and wait until next turn. Artillery Enthusiast. Wouldn't it be unreasonable for our opponent to concede here before showing us more of their deck? Opponent shocks in, plays a cool but rude. And the Viper is just going to be lethal. Don't want to show it to him, but it will end the game now. We don't have to worry about discard or anything. Just go at face with all of these. And then we go into sideboarding. Here, we already have some graveyard hate in the main deck in the form of the Tormod's Crypts, so I don't think we need the Soul Guide Lantern. Similar with Consign to Memory and Metallic Rebuke, probably going to be too slow on the draw, as our opponent's already going to get a good one drop out. Pithing Needle has some play as well. Could name Cool but Rude. Maybe we bring in a couple needles, take out a boot and a skateboard, and we'll do this on the draw. Reevaluate on the play if we get to game 3. No mana here. This just won't do. And we'll try and keep this one, although any discard will pretty much collapse the hand. Opponent starts on a Moon Shadow. We'll play out a Starting Town. Pass the turn. Next turn we can try and get a couple more drones out of Emissary this way. Opponent shocks in, plays an Enthusiast, so they already have a 3/3 Shadow. Quite an aggressive start from our opponent. Viper's good. Play out a Seat. Warp in. Create a couple drones. Pass the turn. We'd love to draw into a 0-cost artifact so that we can play out the Viper next turn and give it haste. Opponent hits for 4 here. Might be 5 depending on what they discard with the Shadow. Emperor of Bones. So they do have a reanimation aspect. They decided not to go for it because of the Crypt. Then they play out a Pathway on red. Let's see, if we play out Weapons Manufacturing, it's not actually going to progress our turn. We'll hit in with the drones. Opponent definitely has a removal spell here. We'll see if they fire it off. They don't. Play out the Spire. And then we'll sacrifice both of the drones here. Viper's not the best up against them because they can get more permanents into their graveyard. They grow the Moon Shadow here, but we don't have much of a choice. Cycling Oliphant. I believe this is just going to be lethal with the Cool but Rude on the attack. So we go into game 3. They still have their Thoughtseize in. Do we want counter magic? Definitely don't want Consign to Memory. Maybe we do bring in a couple Rebuke. Take out some Tamiyo. Maybe go down in Emry. Get the 3 Rebuke in here. Still like a few of the Lava Spur Boots. Similarly, I don't know if we have room to bring in Force of Negation in this matchup. We'll give this a try. And we'll play first. Turn 1 Emry. We'll keep. Play out a crypt. And then before playing out any of the other cards, we'll see what Emry mills. I think we can just hold them in hand here. And our opponent doesn't want to play with us. They did keep 7 cards, so I'm not quite sure what happened there.